Hi everyone, welcome back to Novel Nomad and welcome to my Adelaide Writers Week of 2020 TBR. So this is going through the books that I want to read for Adelaide Writers Week. Now the schedule is out. If you want to go online, all the links are down below, do check it out. But these are the books that I know I'm definitely wanting to read. So Adelaide Writers Week is a free literary festival held in Adelaide, the city centre, at the Women's Pioneer Gardens. I usually try and do a vlog video every year of when I go, and this year is going to be absolutely amazing. The whole theme of this year is being human, so they're looking into real human experiences, different human issues within humanities at the moment, and I'm just beyond excited. So let's start off with the books I have read. Now, I did read Dark Amy by Bruce Pascoe, but unfortunately Bruce Pascoe has now said he's unable to come for Adelaide Writers Week. But the other one I have finished is Tommy Orange's There, which I absolutely loved. I thought it was brilliantly groundbreaking and I can't wait to see Tommy for Adelaide Writers Week. But let's get into the rest of my list. Okay, so it's in complete random order, but I do have two sections. These are the books of the people that I will be seeing and I do want to read. So starting off, there is Damien Barr, You Will Be Safe Here. Damien Barr is a bit of a literary darling in England. I think he's Scottish English, set around there, and he holds these amazing literary salons that I just wish I could go to. And I wish he was holding one here whilst he's in Adelaide for Adelaide Writers Week. But this is his new release, his fiction book, and I'm very, very excited to get into this. I believe it has LGBTQ themes to it. Next is the absolutely amazing Maxine Beneba-Clark. She is on my Reading Women's she's on so many of my challenges for this year, but I really wanted to read her poetry collection, which is called Carrying the World, and I'm reading this a poem every night before bed and I'm loving it. It is absolutely brilliant. Next we have a new addition to the Adelaide Writers Week group that we didn't know from the little preview they gave us beforehand, and that is Bree Lee. Eggshell Skull is her memoir, which is brilliant. I'm doing a reread just so I can refresh on how amazing it is, but she's recently released On Beauty, which is looking at the ideas around current beauty culture and how it is gradually changing, but how there's a lot of toxic waste still within beauty culture, within society. So I think that sounds amazing. Well, it's super duper short and I'm excited to get into that. But Eggshell Skull, a young law student who basically realizes injustices within sexual assault, and she fights it. Facing her own personal history, she ends up on the other side of the court that she wasn't expecting to. So it's absolutely brilliant, and I want to read On Beauty as well, just because it's such a fascinating culture to explore, because it's something that we just take for granted in many ways. Next, I'm absolutely beyond myself to see John Boyne. He is going to be in Adelaide for Adelaide Writers Week. He's going to be there on the weekend, which is perfect. He is the author of A Boy in Striped Pyjamas and also Ladder to the Sky, both of which I adore. But I got a few of his other works to read. So first we have 3 of his children's books, or middle grade, and that is Noah Barley Water Runs Away, The Boy at the Top of the Mountain, and also Stay Where You Are and Then Leave. So these two I believe have a World War II perspective. I'm not sure about this one, but yay for more of his middle grade lit. It's also middle grade March coming up, so if you want possible suggestions, these are some good ones. And of course the one I've been highly recommended is The Heart's Invisible Furies. This is an adult fiction that he did, and it's bound to be amazing because he wrote this one just before he did Ladder to the Sky, and Ladder to the Sky was brilliant, and if he was already at that caliber of writing, the one before must have been phenomenal. So I'm very excited to read this one. Next is Chigozie Abioma. He was shortlisted for I think it was an International Booker Prize with his Orchestra of Minorities, but this is his debut work, The Fisherman. I've already started it. I'm kind of not gelling with it at the moment, so I've picked up something else, but it is a very vivid story, so it's still quite fresh in my mind. And the other author that I'm absolutely excited to see is Tara June Winch. Now, I've got her novel The Yield, which I have begun. I'm only probably like first few pages in, so I'm going to start from the beginning again. But Tara Jean Lynch is an Indigenous Australian, and her story is so fascinating. I borrowed from the library her first short story collection, Swallow the Air, which is more in a way a short story collection, but it's more of a vignette following a young girl's upbringing in Aboriginal community and finding her place and identity within country, which is fascinating. Also, I want to read After the Carnage. This is a stunning edition, but this one is, she was mentored by an award-winning author, and she basically wrote, it's a very similar like vignette styles to Swallow the Air, but about people around the world. So once again, a short story collection, but the yield sounds amazing because it follows a young woman who is trying to help her grandfather make a dictionary of the native Indigenous language in that area, their tribe group. So it sounds brilliant and I can't wait. Her writing is stunning, very, very vivid, very emotional, very evocative. Okay, also on my TBR, this is the section where I may not be able to see these people, but I hope I can. They're during the week when unfortunately I can't take time off, but I might be able to squeeze in a session towards the end, hopefully. So first off is Ruby Hamad's White Tears, Brown Scars. I really am excited about this one. It's a really interesting look at feminism and how racism plays a part within feminism, and how there is inherent racism within aspects of white feminism. So it sounds absolutely amazing, and I really wish I could make it to her session, but unfortunately it's in the middle of the day. Another one that I really want to read is See What You Made Me Do by Jess Hill, and this is looking into domestic violence within Australia, and I think that is crucially important because now they have a count of how many people suffer from domestic violence within Australia every minute, and they have a count every year, and it is just astronomical. It is really horrific. So see what you make, and that's only like reported incidences of domestic violence. I think it's going to be really illuminating, and it's going to be challenging many aspects of my worldview, which is always what I want to read in a non-fiction. So I might be able to catch the end of Jess's session. I really hope I can, but if not, they do record quite a number of different sessions, and they do upload them a few months after. Lastly, these are three that I had on my TBR, but I will definitely not be able to make their sessions, and that is Heather Rose's Bruni. This is a bit of a cli-fi light political drama set in Tasmania, going about the island of Bruni and looking into the different political issues within Australia at the moment, which is really interesting that they chose to do this within a very potentially contentious issue. So I'm not going to be able to make a Heather Rose's event, but it is still on my TBR to read if I can get to it. It's not very far away now, but I am going to prioritise first. This is at the bottom of the pile. Next also is Julia Phillips' The Disappearing Earth. So it sounds really interesting. It's about two girls who go missing in the northeastern edge of Russia. So obviously quite desolate, quite remote, and how the fallout is within society afterwards. So this sounds incredibly fascinating as well, but once again, not a priority. And lastly, one that I'm a little bit bummed I didn't get to go to her session, mainly because her book sounds amazing and I guess get so many like good vibes around this book, and it's The City of Trees by Sophie Cunningham. And so what makes this book so fascinating is it's a collection of essays, almost short stories, essays, and it looks into the need for environment and the need of forest and that need for trees within these urban landscapes. So I greatly appreciate that. I am such a green thumb sometimes. Not that I have great proficiency with plants, but I do find I do love to go out and sit in a park during my work hours when I am in the city. So I just love the connection to nature you can have, and that sense of peace and calm that you get from nature. So it seems to be a topic that speaks very much to my own heart, and one that I'm extremely disappointed I can't make her session. Okay, so that was a very, very quick wrap up of what I plan to read for Adelaide Writers Week. If you're planning to attend, let me know down below. We can see if we can meet up. If you're planning to read any of these for any challenges that you may be doing, let me know. I'd love to discuss it with you. Or if you think I should read one in particular first, please tell me in the comments down below. So I'll see you all next time. Happy reading. Bye.